Does this young paddle player look familiar to you? Well, I think it is not too difficult to guess him. Would you be able to imitate him doing this trick? And could you do this one? Today we are gonna see the evolution of Juan Lebrón Chincoa from his beginnings until he became the first Spanish #1 in the world. Hello players, I'm Pablo and I welcome you to a new 4Set. Juan Lebrón Chincoa was born on January 30, 1995 in El Puerto de Santa Maria in Cádiz, Spain. Since he was young, he always stand out in two aspects. He loved sports and he was very competitive. He stood out playing football and wanted to follow his brother Manuel's example, but what he fell in love with was Padel. He quickly won provincial, national and world championships in the junior category. The following points are from the Spanish Junior Championship in 2011. Juan was then 16 years old and was about to make the jump to Madrid, something that would change his life. But how were Juan's beginnings in Padel?
Y recuerdo tener todavía la imagen esa con la pala pequeñita que era en el Deportivo de la Isleta y estar con la luz apagada en la pista de pádel y yo jugar, ¿no? Y cuando, por ejemplo, a lo mejor faltaba uno o llegaba tarde, pues yo estaba ahí el primero para empezar a pelotear y jugar los primeros juegos.
If there is something that defines Juan, it is undoubtedly his competitive spirit. It's something that has made him has as many admirers as detractors, but is without a doubt the key to his success.
Que yo desde pequeñito era malo jugando a pádel, era malo, lo que pasa que era muy competitivo y me encantaba aprender y me encantaba ganar, ¿no? Entonces yo eso vi a mis amigos que me ganaban y yo decía que esto no puede ser. Yo recuerdo pasármelo muy bien y estar pues siempre muy feliz, aunque cuando perdía me enfadaba mucho, lloraba, bueno, era un niño cascarrabia, ¿no? Por así decirlo. Yo era muy picado, me gustaba competir.
In that sense, he is very similar to Paquito Navarro, because if you try to make them be different on court, they will lose their magic. Juan in his junior days was one of the great dominators of the tour. In a group of Spanish players that also included, for example, Alex Ruiz, they managed to beat Argentina on several occasions. Does anyone in this picture look familiar to you? It is in the final of the World Junior Championship in Melilla against Franco Stupasuk and the late Elias Estrella. That was Juan's last junior championship and he managed to win in 3 sets. I would appreciate it a lot if you subscribe to the channel to support me to create more content. We arrived in 2013 when Juan was already 18 years old. He had already made the move to live in Madrid to train with Jorge Martinez in order to chase his dream of being #1 in the world. And the reality was that if you want to reach the top, you needed to come to Madrid. That year was the first season in the history of World Padel Tour, and for the first time there was a different category within the World Padel Tour for players under 18 years. Lebrón managed to qualify for the World Padel Tour Junior Master Final, and this is what happened. He managed to win the Master Final with Íñigo Zarrategui and more eyes were on him. The talent from El Puerto de Santa Maria began to stand out among the best players in the world and explained some of his ideas.
Los entrenos nos ayudan muchísimo para tener mucha confianza después al partido, ¿no? Básicamente tus golpes es lo que tienes que tener máxima confianza, porque si no estás con tus golpes con la misma confianza que tú estás, entonces dudas y eso te hace dudar que te pueda llevar a un mal partido. Básicamente cuando decimos que es un jugador psicológicamente fuerte, podemos decir que te está en un momento malo primero del partido y bueno, poco a poco vas entrando con confianza con tus golpes y eso te hace que básicamente te hagas más fuerte, ¿no? Entonces sí que es verdad que siempre buscamos la manera de intentar concentrarnos poco a poco, meter máximas bolas posibles para después ir a poco más y hacerlo lo mejor posible al final y para poder eso ganar el partido.
Already playing the Pro Tour in 2014 and 2015, Lebrón left several highlights. 2016 was a key year in Juan Lebrón's sporting career. For the first time, he was gonna share the court with a world #1, Gaby Reca. The current coach of Fede Chingoto and Momo González bet on the young Spanish player at that time. We could see the couple training in Argentina on courts very different from the ones that they would later compete on. But then, in full competition, Lebrón and Gabi were able to do things like this. Although Juan would later confess that playing with a number one like Gabi affected him.
Yo te voy a ser sincero y el año pasado me pesó muchísimo, pero una barbaridad, ¿sabes? El hecho de, además de jugar con un grande, con Gabi Reca, creo que se esperaba mucho de nosotros y bueno, tuvimos muchos altibajos, aunque estoy eternamente agradecido porque, te digo la verdad, aprendí muchísimo con él y estoy eternamente agradecido.
Like this video to see if we get to 2000 Padel lovers. We will reach 2017 and that means something very important in Juan's career. He signed with Babolat. The French brand bet on Juan, who at 22 years old was clear about he had to work on.
Este año me he puesto en plan de hacer más físico, la verdad. Estamos metiendo sobre todo muchísima caña al físico para no quedarme muy canijo como dicen que soy un espagueti y bueno, tranquilos que voy a seguir dejando la piel en cada momento y voy a seguir haciendo las dormilonas. No os preocupéis que la vas a seguir viendo, pero ahora tenéis que venir a verme, por supuesto. Un abrazo a todos.
2018 will be one of the most special years in his career. He will reach the final in the first tournament of the season along with Beluati. But to reach the final, he defeated in the quarterfinals a very young Agustín Tapia who had just arrived in Spain to bet on reaching the top as Juan did just a few years ago. Not only did he defeat Tapia and Jardim in the quarterfinals, but in the semifinals he did perhaps the most difficult thing. They defeated Bella Lima, who were the number ones in the world at that time. But they will fall in the final against Sanjo and Maxi, who will finish that season in the highest position of the ranking. But for being the first tournament of the season, it couldn't have started better. Halfway through the season, Juan was presented with one of the most important opportunities of his career, sharing the court with the 14 times world number one Juan Martín Díaz. However, life changed completely for Juan in 2019 because Paquito Navarro proposed him to play together. This way we're joining two very competitive players with strong characters. But of course there was a problem because who would play on the right side of the court?
Yo veía que Juanito era un fuera de serie. Él jugaba en el revés por aquel entonces, pero yo veía unas capacidades pues un poco de la edad que tenía y el talento que rebosaba. Creo que si lo conseguía ordenar un poco, pues iba a ser el jugador descomunal que es a día de hoy. Entonces se lo propuse, le hizo mucha ilusión y le dije, bueno, pero un poco, vamos a ver quién juega a la derecha, ¿no? Yo a ver qué opinaba.
On April 28th, 2019, Juan will achieve one of his dreams, to win his first World Padel Tour title. He did it hand in hand with Paquito and in front of nothing more and nothing less than Bella and Lima. But the story wouldn't end there. Throughout that 2019, Paquito and Lebrón will impose a style of play that will be the seed of what will happen in later seasons. A fast, aggressive style of play and looking to make a lot of winners. On November 24, 2019 in Sao Paulo, Brazil, Juan will make history by becoming the first Spanish-born player number one in the world. He was 1 week ahead of his teammate Paquito Navarro, who also achieved it, and they will finish the season in that position. After touching the glory and being the best padel couple in the world, something happened that people didn't understand. Paquito and Lebrón would split up. How was it possible for the number one players to separate?
Bueno, la situación es que con nuestros respectivos compañeros nos separamos y creo que está en la mente de los dos el juntarnos. Y fue así, en el momento que a mí me comunican que no sigo un proyecto que tenía en conjunto, no se me cruzó otra persona por la cabeza.
Porque es que tenerlo enfrente era un calvario, sino que cada vez que juega conmigo tengo un alivio, o sea que imagínate.
Eso lo tengo que decir yo, que no le ganaba nunca.
Well, since 2020, Lebrón and Galán have changed padel with a way of playing that has transformed everything. The rest of the players have had to adapt and look for formulas to try to face them. 3 consecutive seasons world number one until that young Argentine player that Juan won in his first World Padel Tour in Spain in 2018 took from them the first position in the ranking, going even a step further in the style of play. What is clear is that Juan Lebrón Chincoa, as he has always shown since he was a child, is not going to give up, and his competitive spirit is going to push him to try to return to conquer again the world padel. Will he make it? Whatever happens, as padel fans, let's enjoy Juan on the court like the rest of the players and understand all the effort that he and the rest of the players have made to get to where they are nowadays. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe and leave in the comments the next player that you want to know more about.